Hello, I am the Recovery Plug. How's it going, everybody? Well, just wanted to come to you this Sunday and, you know, just see how your day was going, kind of give you an insight on how mine was, and we'll go from there. But I guess it'll just be like an open topic type thing today. But before we get started, you know how I like to get my podcast started, always with a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. If you would, a moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alright, well, let's get started. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. I just wanted to, I guess, first things first, man, being in recovery is to me it's an adventure every day, right? Because you're doing things that you're not used to anymore, and if you understand when you're in recovery, if you understand the word, if you let's look at the word recovery. When you're in recovery, you're doing exactly that. You're recovering things that you've lost in your life, in a sense. Habits that you used to do, your everyday living. People start coming back, and you're recovering people that you were possibly friends with before, this and that. You know what I mean? So you're recovering different aspects of your life back into your life, and when you do that in recovery, you have to understand which parts that you recover, because you could easily recover part of your life that was a bad boundary for you, in a sense. It was a negative boundary. It was something that possibly could have led you back into addiction, or whatever it is that your addiction was. For me, it personally was drugs, and I ran into some people today that I hadn't seen in a good little bit, and it's people that I've known from when I was in addiction and when I was in that dark realm, and when I run into somebody that I knew from that era of my life, I get excited in a sense because I'm seeing somebody that I cared for. You know what I mean? I've always been a person, a genuine person, no matter if I was in addiction or not. If you were my friend, you were my friend, and that meant something to me. And so when I saw this person today, I was excited that I saw somebody that I knew, and at first they didn't really recognize me. They I was familiar, but they didn't know that I was me. You know what I mean? Until I gave them. She had somebody else that she was with her, and she introduced me to her friend. And when I introduced myself, I gave my name, and then she didn't hit her. Because I don't think she knew me. She knew who I was, but she didn't. She forgot my name, I guess. And when I said my name, then it clicked to her. She goes, "Oh my God, it's you," And so it was exciting in a sense to have done that, and to have run into somebody that you used to know in that world, and because what was exciting for me is the fact that she was happy. I could see the excitement in her face, that because once I told her that I haven't seen her in a while. I was like, well, I've been clean, and I'm not in that realm anymore, and it was so, I could see it in her face that she was like happy about it, and that and right away, she's telling me that I'm tired too. She says, and I if just me being seeing that just this much of happiness in her life, you know, maybe that's enough to put a seed in her, and that she gets motivated enough to come to the world of recovery and positivity, because you know, sometimes it is a hug or a handshake or a fist pump, or you know, just hearing the words out of somebody who used to be in the darkness, and now they're in this light, that they have that effect on somebody, that it possibly could be a domino effect. And you know, so it was bittersweet in a sense, because by running into her, she also gave me some feedback on a couple of other people that we both mutually know. And for me, it was a couple of guys that were really good friends of mine. I considered them friends of mine, and how they considered me, I have no idea. I mean, I hope that they knew that they were my friends, and that I was their friend. But she named a couple of guys, and she said that they had passed away, and you know, because of the drugs. You know, they got infections, they got blood poisoning, and that sort of thing, and they didn't make it. And you know, it was just last week. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I was floored by it, because these particular fellas were my age. You know, they were about my age, and they, you know, had families and that sort of thing. And now, but the stronghold of that, of the addiction, is powerful, and it takes people's lives. And but the power of recovery also takes people's lives, but it doesn't take them away. It takes them and puts them into this world of positivity and recovery, and excitement and life and compassion and empathy, and just this sense of drive that you get from being in that world of recovery. And it's a spiritual awakening. It's a 360 turn on your life, in a sense, and it has to start somewhere. And if it's just by hearing somebody talking on a podcast, or seeing somebody that you hadn't seen in a while, and you know, interacting, giving a hug, giving a handshake, you know, just discussing something on a podcast like this. And it was, I was excited that I saw her. And you know, I'm not going to give her name out or anything, but you know, I really, you know, it brought back memories. And you know, I've always thought that this girl was cool. You know what I mean? She's always been, in my opinion, a really sweet girl. And you know, I shared my number, and told her, you know, hey, if there's anything you need, you know, give me a call if I can help in any way, and I will, if she does ever reach out. And just the time that I had there with her till the next bus came. And you know, I hope that I was enough influence on her that, you know, she decides to take that first step. And I'll pray for her. And because a lot of times that's all you can do for people. You know what I mean? You'd like to just scoop everybody up and take them with you, but you can't. And unfortunately, we live in a world that is chaotic, and a world that drives people into many different directions, and we can't save everybody, unfortunately. But we can pray for everybody. That I do know. That is one thing, because the power of prayer is great, and it's powerful, number one. And you know, you'll be amazed at things. You know, what kind of things can happen when you do that. And but I was saddened when she told me about those two fellas because they're really my friends, and I was just like, man, this whole morning I was been thinking about the two dudes, and I just I feel a little bit weighed down, so my feelings hurting a little bit because of that news, and but at the same token, I think it's it's a rude awakening in a sense. It's something that I figured I would share because there's just a statistic they say that, and this is a government statistic comes out about overdoses and drug addiction, and it said that a 9/11 happens every month in the United States. Every month a 9/11 happens. I believe it's every month. Or every day, I think. It's every day a 9/11 happens. And what they mean by that is that there's, when 9/11 happened, there was about roughly in between, it was like 3,500, maybe a little bit more deaths that there was when 9/11 happened. So they say that I believe it was every month in the United States or every day. I forgot the exact number, but nonetheless, that it's happening on the consistent basis every day. People are overdosing from drugs every single day, and it's at an alarming rate. You know what I mean? And mainly it's to the opioids, heroin, and now the methamphetamines is coming along with that because they're putting fentanyl into the methamphetamines, and so it's a staggering and an alarming rate that people are ODing and dying from the use of drugs, and you don't have to. In a sense, that a lot of people are not ODing. What they're doing, what's happening is that they're using it, and they're getting these infections from where they're intravenously shooting up the drug, or they get a cut or something while they're using a burn or something, and then that, because they're using these drugs, they're staying in these bacteria is terrible, and it starts eating away, and then when you're stuck in a bando or stuck in a tent, or the drainage system is around the city, or just out in the woods somewhere, and you're not. It's hard to maintain cleanliness, and when that's happening, these infections starts getting worse and worse, and as drug addicts and stuff like that, people don't want to go to the hospital because they don't treat you well anyway when you go there. You get it's a terrible way that things that are happening, but that's how people are dying as well, because they're getting these sores and these abscess and those kind of things, and I've known people that have just it's just eating their skin, and when you're in that drug, once it gets to a certain point, people don't want to go to the doctor then because perhaps they're embarrassed, or they just they just think that it's too far for them now, and they're just going to keep using, and they give up hope, and I hate to hear that stuff because I'm here today living proof of someone who's been addicted to drugs, someone who has been there, who has been in that world of homelessness and addiction, and I'm here as proof that you can get out. There's help for you. There's agencies, there's people who care, there's people like me who send messages like this because I care about what happens to people, man, because there's no way that we live in the best country in the world and we have streets like that. I mean, there's got to be a better answer. And but you know, I just hope that this message today. I hope somebody can hear me. I'm praying that somebody hears me. I'm praying that somebody takes it serious today. That today's going to be your day. Today's going to be your day to say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of it. Just like my friend told me that she's tired already. You know? And all it takes is to listen to somebody just one time that gives you that fire, that lights that fire in you to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm going to go to this program. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there to whatever facility, agency that is that you can reach out to and try to get the help that will get you out of that dark realm that you're in, because you don't deserve to be there. Nobody does. Yeah, you could beat yourself up all day that you did this or this happened to you and that happened to you, but at the end of the day, no human being deserves to be addicted to something like that and then their life just go south. I mean, there's better options for people. There's I believe it's 100%. I believe that everybody has this inner being that they can get out into the open and start living a different life. But you have to get it here first. You have to really do some soul searching and want it. You have to really want it, and you have to know that there's going to be work to do this. It's just not something that's going to happen. You know what I mean? You have to be ready to get in the trenches, just like it is when you just didn't overnight become an addict. You know what I mean? It just didn't happen overnight. You progressively did work to get there. You have to do something to get the drugs. You have to, I can remember doing licks and selling drugs to maintain my high. And, it was just a bunch of bad things that I was involving myself in, that at any minute I could have, died. At any minute I could have, been incarcerated. At any minute I could have, just hurt myself or hurt somebody, you know what I mean? And it was just, by the grace of God, I was able to get out of it. Why I got chosen to get out of there, I have no idea. I don't know why. But what I do know is that if it happened for me, there must have been some type of divine intervention that led me to get out so that I could be here to do these podcasts, to do these videos, to talk to somebody, to get somebody out of that darkness. And I firmly believe that. So that's why I do the podcast. I do the podcast because I believe that if I can say my story and let it resonate in somebody's ear, in somebody's heart, in somebody's soul, in somebody's mind, that the words that project out of my mouth are healing words for somebody. And I strongly believe that. And I just want you to know that, there's help out there. And, I wanted to make this quick video just because I ran into her and then, she tells me the story about my friends dying and I needed somebody to hear that today. Because maybe today is a day that you're just not doing good. Maybe today is the day that, you're thinking of not, of just giving up. I'm here to tell you, don't. I'm here to tell you that today is the day that you should just start on that positive round to the road of recovery and positivity, because it can happen. If it happened for me, who was an addict, who was homeless, who was just out there on the streets, it can happen for you. So I really appreciate everybody watching, I've mentioned this before. I got a few projects coming up that I'm trying to launch off that I believe is a good thing. It's a positive thing in the world of recovery and positivity and spirituality. And I can't do this on my own, so I call to my fellow people out here who are listening to me to subscribe to my channel, to share my channel, to give me a thumbs up, a like, a comment. All that stuff helps out. And it doesn't cost you a thing. All you gotta do is touch the button, and you'll help me out. And I would greatly appreciate it if you did. But I appreciate you listening. I hope that this message resonated with somebody here today on this Sunday. And I guess that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow with another video, another subject. And until then, I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. God bless you guys. And until the next time, when the smoke clears, I am the Recovery Plug.